And welcome back to Game 2 of this best of 3. We are in Champion Select, CLG.eu versus SK. And how about that Game 1, Joe?
Well, I'm impressed with what I saw from SK there. I hold my hand up and say I was pretty sure that CLG were going to 2-0 this game. And SK they've looked brilliant in that game number 1. The question is, can they do it 2 games in a row, or even losing this one, then pick themselves back up off the ground and win game number 3? Still to be seen. However, we are into the bans. We can see that Karthus, Rumble, and Urgot all banned out here by SK, and CLG banning out Jax, which is no real surprise if we look back to how Kevin played him in game number 1. Yorick banned out as well, another big favourite of Kevin, and Malphite taken out of the equation as well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think CLG ever wants to see that kind of composition again with the Jax. And especially the Malphite ultimate to initiate. Kevin was terrifying on that Jax, and Arene did a great job of setting not only Yellow Star, and as well as Kevin to completely obliterate people with that Kog'Maw Jax combination. That is such a scary, scary late game combo.
Well, let's see what they're going to go for this time. We do see already Nunu locked in straight off the bat. Question is, what are CLG going to go with this time? We've seen them, running a lot of Rumble this tournament. He's going to be banned out there. There is the Kog'Maw. CLG are probably, well, that worked out pretty nice for them. I guess we should just do that.
Just grab it. Yeah, especially considering they grabbed the Nunu. That is originally, because Arene is such a strong jungle Nunu, that would have forced CLG to guess where that Nunu is going. However, since they picked up the Kog'Maw, they could potentially go with another AD carry that also works well with Nunu, but that Kog-Nunu combination so tried and true, and Arene may potentially go for this Nunu in the jungle as Wicked picks up Alistar. We could potentially see another jungle Alistar. Snoopy still really strong on that jungle alley, and Arene grabbing the Maokai. So it looks like we're going to see still a support Nunu, but a Maokai jungle.
Yeah, Maokai in the jungle. Just something that we're maybe a bit more used to seeing from Snoopy. One of his top junglers is Maokai, but he's definitely been more favouring this Alistar, which still could go either way. There is the Ahri, which again, when we look at the middle, Anivia is available for Froggen to pick up. In that last game, wasn't like he played bad, but wasn't super impressive either. Wasn't the the 10-0-10 or whatever Froggen that everyone seems to expect from him these days. But let's see if they go for that in this one. Obviously, Ahri is going to be locked in there. Maokai for the jungle.
Yeah, and Ahri is actually a really strong pick for Ocelot. That's one of his favorite champions. Definitely Ahri. Gragas as well. However, Gragas didn't get banned in this game, but he opted for Ahri. Ahri's so strong. She's mobile, and especially if Frog is going to go for someone that has a targeted stun like an Anivia, being able to dash out of the way and reposition himself to get a more advantageous spot to get the charm, as we see Soraka and Shen being picked out and locked in. So could be a Kog Soraka bottom lane. Really strong for Kog'Maw, getting that armor buff as well as the heal. And Soraka, as we had said, pretty strong in terms of being a mana battery as well. So allowing Yellow P to really spam those abilities. And Shen, he can jungle, he can top lane, and more importantly, he can split push and put a lot of pressure. We saw SK really grouping up in that game 1 and continuously trying to take global objectives and also force engagement. So it'll be interesting to see if CLG.eu is going to go for a split push situation, as we see potentially Corki. Ocelot sort of swapping around a little bit. However, Kevin locking in that Aurelia. Kevin pretty strong on Aurelia. Aurelia just a great pick overall.
I'm pretty sure Ocelot's going to end up with Corki by the end of things.
Yeah, swapping around a little bit.
There we go.
Corki Nunu, interesting combination. Could be really aggressive. Corki really skill reliant, relying on landing those missiles and getting that burst down. However, with the Blood Boil, he's going to be able to get himself in better position. He already has that Valkyrie. And of course, the Anivia. What CLG game would it be if we didn't have Froggen on Anivia? He's so strong there. Still able to almost make something happen in that last game, despite CLG being down almost 10,000 gold. However, SK was able to pull it out. The matchups our setup, we have bottom lane, Yellow Star and Nif. We got Corki, Nunu against a Kog'Maw, Soraka. And then in the jungle, we have Arene on Maokai facing off against Snoopy's Alistar jungle. Mid lane, Ocelot on Ahri going up against Froggen's Anivia. And top lane, Aurelia, played by Kevin, going up against Wicked's Shen, who also has teleport. So I would be very surprised if we didn't see some serious split pushing from Wicked.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this last game we saw Ocelot out farming Froggen on this middle lane, but with Morgana. Obviously, once that W gets leveled up, it's harder to miss your CS than anything else. But here we have the two main lineups of the two teams. You shouldn't really need any kind of introduction if you follow League of Legends. You know these two teams off by heart by now. But Jaws, with these two lineups, you know, we've got the picks already in there. Who's your favorite for this one?
Honestly, I would have to put the advantage still to CLG. I think they learned from that game one. I think they know that SK, as this crowd is going wild, they are so pumped this match. Really passionate fans of SK, especially in this crowd today. And I gotta say, I gotta give it to CLG, especially with that teleport Shen. Shen is so strong in being able to split push, and SK really wanted to do 5-on-5 engages. However, SK can really lock someone up fast. If Arene is gonna be able to land that snare, Ocelot can follow up with the charm, and they'll potentially be able to obliterate someone because the rest of the team, Yellow Star and Kevin, will be able to jump on them immediately. Bottom lane, I haven't really seen that much Nunu Corki, and it seems a little bit of an interesting combination. Corki really aggressive, so he often likes to have some form of sustain, as we see Yellow Star posturing mid. Meanwhile, Arene potentially setting up for the race, being able to use those saplings. However, he hasn't leveled any skills yet, just in case there is a CLG invade. Snoopy waiting around on that bottom brush, potentially trying to make some happen. But yeah, I really like CLG. I think they're going to do a lot of 4-1 split pushes, and Wicked is going to be able to ultimate in and potentially turn a 4v5 into a 5v5 and turn that fight around. And Yellow Pete on Kog'Maw. We saw Kog'Maw in game one. Kog'Maw is just a terror in general if he gets farmed, and I could absolutely see them getting farmed with Crapo really keeping Yellow Pete alive, keeping him sustained, and allowing him to spam those abilities.
I don't remember the last game that I've seen where Yellow Pete didn't get off to a good start. Even in that last game, it was Ezreal that was the strong point in this CLG lineup when it came to the kills. Actually, we can see that Yellow Star hanging around this middle area. I'm assuming that they're not going to really be switching things up from the positions that they're currently in. Obviously, SK, after starting on the red team or purple team, whatever you want to call it, on the in the first game, they're now on the blue side. Which you talk to these players, and blue side is stronger. You know the golems down at the bottom side of the map are absolutely vital, actually, when it comes to things, and you'll find that these teams, if they had the opportunity to choose, would go blue side every time. We can see that CLG actually stacking up here off towards that blue buff. Nobody currently there. Maokai has started on the red buff, which is an interesting way to go about it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that's a great delayed invade from CLG. Snoopy is a regular Maokai player, and Maokai stacking up those saplings on the race to try and get a quick, try to drop them really quickly and then beeline the blue buff.
Lanes.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be swapping out, and looks like Arene's coming in for this blue buff, so he could be in a heap of trouble if they stick around. Snoopy picking up that blue. Great play. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lane swap, and Nunu coming to join Yellow Star, and Wicked's going to be going for the 1v2. I think Wicked's going to be able to do that. However, if Yellow Star and Nif are able to get some early harass, could potentially be a little bit of trouble. Kevin, especially with the Snoopy jungle, I don't know if this swap is going to be as effective for SK.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest, either, how this one should be working out. I mean, Aurelia probably going to have a little bit of trouble in this early game, especially with that Kog'Maw can constantly zone her out. We saw in the last major lane switch game a few problems. Actually, we can see the flash headbutt pulverize there. Ocelot tries to flash away. He was actually stunned up there. I'm not sure that they've quite got the damage to finish things off. Snoopy will get charmed. Up in the top lane, action going down as well. And I talked about Kevin having a few problems, but he's like, nah, screw this. It's for 2v1 lane. I'm feeling confident, man. I'm going in.
Yeah, definitely, and this is actually definitely CLG putting the pressure on this swap. And we had talked about before where a lot of the Korean teams really enjoying the swap, switching things up, putting weird champions in weird places. And this is, I feel like this is really going to favor CLG, especially because they want to get Snoopy ramped up. And we see him already going for his second game top, gets the headbutt, gets the pulverize, and Kevin's dropping extremely low. Could we see first blood? That is first blood to Yellow Pete, and Kog'Maw with a first blood. Definitely not the start that SK was hoping for, but definitely the start that CLG wanted in this game too.
Yeah, that's the pretty much the dream start for CLG, getting that Kog'Maw early on. And again, not seen Yellow Pete had a bad early game in any match, I think,
very
ever.
true.
It's just he's just an early game summoner or something.
Definitely, and this is a real adjustment. We're seeing CLG learning from a potential SK advantage in game one. They want to get Snoopy ganking very hard, very fast, and I think that's where the swap is coming in. We see Nif going top, and RNA is also sneaking in. However, a great ward top lane, so he is spotted, and CLG, Yellow Pete and Crapo are just going to hang out and farm last hit and try to waste as much time as possible on that double buff that RNA is going to have. And looks like bottom lane, Yellow Star doing pretty well, 26 minion kills to Kog'Maw's 15. However, Froggen getting taken out, being able to take out Ocelot, that Froggen and Anivia is so strong.
Yeah, and that's the start of a very slippery slope, I have to feel, for SK in that one. You know, game number one, they had a brilliant setup and they executed well. If CLG find their sort of comfort zone, SK is still going to have a really tough time. That's why I said, you know, between game one, yeah, SK 1-0 up. Yeah, the fans absolutely loving them, are behind them here, but I'm not sure if they're quite ready as a team for this kind of level matchup. Let's not forget, they are technically together a new lineup, and that's not the kind of thing that you just overnight learn. You don't learn that chemistry, that synergy between your players overnight. Actually, down in the bottom lane, Wicked going aggressive here onto Yellow Star, who is forced to Valkyrie to get himself away from that one. So on all fronts, things very, very nice. I mean, 24 to 38 CS in the bottom lane, but if you actually compare that, Shen to his real partner, I suppose, over the other side of the map, still, the Aurelia, Shen is actually ahead in that one. Kog'Maw is pretty far behind Corki in the CS, though, so needs to make sure that Yellow Pete, that he keeps up with that CS.
Definitely, and Froggen, after getting that kill, immediately picked up a Chalice of Harmony, so he is definitely going to start pulling ahead in this match. We see 7 as Alistar is getting invaded by RNA. However, Froggen's going to come in. RNA jumping onto him. He did, however, Froggen got a ward on him and is able to chunk him down. Ocelot coming in. This could very quickly turn into a 2v2 situation. Charm going down. RNA being forced to flash. Will Snoopy be able to get the headbutt? No. Great play from SK to get out of that situation. However, Froggen, an interesting use of aggressive warding to get vision on RNA and forcing the flash.
Yeah, good stuff there. And needed to flash, actually. Alistar was in range there for the headbutt pulverized combo.
Yeah, however, top lane, Tower Dive going down, Ignite and Flash.
Oh, but we've got Shen actually portaling in here. We are going to see Kog'Maw go down, but this is going to be 2 kills coming out there. Shen picking up 1. Crepo actually took the other one as well. But again, fast fingers from Wicked there. Going to have to be very, very careful this one. Let's not forget that Wicked, Shen is a brilliant split pushing machine, and also he can come straight into that action. Shen with teleport can come in twice as often.
Absolutely, and he could even go into a fight and then just teleport back to the lane and continue split pushing. So Shen just able to put so much pressure on all of the lanes and still be a presence in fights. Great 2-for-1 exchange for CLG. They really want to take this one very quickly and get that advantage and build off of it, as we see Kevin going into the blue buff, trying to potentially setting up. Nope, looks like he's just going to be going top. And Froggen starting to roam. And when Anivia starts roaming, especially when Froggen's on her, it's going to be pretty scary.
And we can see that pink ward just being put down by Crepo. That's going to give them the total vision of this dragon area. And wouldn't surprise me to see CLG start to work their way in for that one. Arani actually just doing the blue buff. Not surprising to see that will be given over onto Ocelot eventually when his cooldowns come off. There we go. And CLG taking the advantage of that one and saying, well, no one's actually here, no one's around, let's do dragon. The bottom lane of that Nunu Corki are sniffing around, but I'm not sure that they really want to be getting too close at this stage of that Dragon attempt. Actually, Ari is starting to work in there as well. Is level 7, gets the Q across, which actually
just
wasn't quite in range. Yeah, I think they could have, the damage may have been enough to take that Dragon there as well, but no, in the end, doesn't quite work that way. Wicked is going to teleport this time his way into that top lane, and that's what we said. Wicked, if he times things right, can almost be in 2 places at once with the speed that he can actually move with his ulti and that teleport.
Definitely. Mobility as well as constant pressure is going to be the name of the game with CLG. We see Snoopy already picking up those boots of mobility. We know he likes to get those boots early, and I think if we get a couple more successful ganks as Froggen takes a huge chunk of health out of Ocelot, and Froggen, with this blue buff, is just going to be able to continue to put pressure and potentially roam with this Alistar jungle.
Shen, once again, as things normalize a little bit, the lanes going back to their more meta standard, let's call it.
Yeah.
I still feel that Wicked, you know, he's got a level on Kevin. If we look down the CS 43 to 57, so Kevin doing a good job of catching up on that front, but this Shen, it looks very, very strong. I'm not sure that Kevin could actually 1v1 him.
Yeah, Shen's really, really good at just holding that lane. He's so tanky, and he can use that Vorpal Blade to just defend, and also he has a little bit of burst with that key strike, but I really feel like that swap did exactly what CLG wanted to do. It got Snoopy his boots of mobility, it got him his early oracles, it got Kog'Maw first blood, so Yellow Pete now having the double Dorans as well as the level 2 boots, as compared to Yellow Star's Corki just getting that phage as well as the attack speed dagger. He doesn't have level 2 boots yet, so if they can snowball Yellow Pete's Kog'Maw as well as Froggen already doing well and farming well, CLG is going to definitely have a big chance to take this game 2 and take it to a game 3.
Well, we kind of hoped that we were going to see a 3-mapper, and well, that's possible here as well. Nif actually taking a big chunk of damage. Luckily for him, he's got Yellowstar in front. Actually, Ignite put down, and he may just force this issue here as Shen is going to come ulting down into this bottom lane, and will they turn the pressure around again? No, not quite. They've not really got the minions to be helping them out there with that turret, and it seems like the bottom lane of CLG is going to be going home now. Wicked used his ultimate, and he doesn't have the teleport up right now, so he's either going to stick around or he's going to be wasting time moving around the map.
Yeah, this was actually a great play from Wicked. Even though they burned the ultimate and were not able to convert a kill, Wicked is continuing to put pressure on Yellow Star and Nif so that Yellow Pete and Crapo can go back top lane and start harassing Kevin on Aurelia, who is already pushed to the tower, but CLG just trying to get SK off balance as soon as possible, and I think they're doing a great job so far.
Yeah, it's good to see that CLG, you know, a team of young players, actually. Actually, I was talking to Snoopy last night, and he was saying, yeah, we're all still very, very young, and that's true. That a lot of young players, they'll be super confident going to a game, they'll lose the first of a best of 3, and their heads will be so far down that, you know, game 2 and 3, they don't even see what's happening anymore. But it's good to see that CLG, you know, they've got this ability to put the bad results behind them and come into this second game looking very, very good. They've got not far off a 2k gold lead at this point, 3-kill advantage with 12 minutes to go. Here comes the ultimate from Nif. Actually, Aranya is coming down. Have they got the damage to finish off Snoopy? Probably not, as he pops his ulti and just walks away from that one. Aranya going in onto Wicked, but he's not the champion either that you're going to find taken down very easily. And in the end, SK forcing that issue, pushing CLG back a little bit, but not able to pick up any kills from it. Actually, they're going to dive in onto Wicked anyway. They are going to take this one. Snoopy waiting here in the wings is going to come in, does get the pulverize across the whole group. Wow. Yellow Star is going to not quite manage to escape there. Snoopy manages to pick up that kill. Is there any more that's going to come from it? No. Aranya already backed away. Nifra's already pushed away as well. And that will be 5-1. Great patient play by CLG.
Yeah, that was a great play bottom lane, while Yellow Pete and Crapo top lane are just trying to harass Kevin out of this lane. Snoopy and Wicked surviving a 2-on-3 tower dive. Great play from Snoopy to look like he was just running away, and then flash headbutt pulverize and turn that around 1-0, and just Wicked and CLG as a whole putting so much pressure on SK in this game too.
Yeah, doing a fantastic job with their backs against the wall here in the semi-final. Let's not forget for the rest of the day, we've got plenty more League of Legends action here from the European Challenger Circuit. Poland, we're going to have, after this semi-final, we know who's going to be in the final. Then we're going to go into the third place game first of all, and then obviously the grand final where Moscow 5 are currently waiting for the winner of this game to set up that grand final a little bit later on in the day. There's Oslo once again getting himself a blue. Let's have a look at the farm between Anivia and Ari. 102 to 123, so a significant lead there for Froggen on Anivia. You can see that translate to 4.3 compared to 3,500 gold. So just shows you how much of a lead there Froggen's going to have with that 1-0-0. Obviously, he picked up first blood as well, let's not forget, in this game as well. Between the two AD carries, Corki maintaining that strong 30 CS lead. He's doing a great job of keeping up with that.
Absolutely, and Yellow Pete going for that early attack speed. However, he did not grab the BF sword as Yellow Star did in that game 1, and it looks like Yellow Star is going to try and take this top tower, and no member of CLG is nearby, so they are going to take this top tower. So great job for SK trying to close the gap on this gold lead. CLG does have a 1,000 gold lead at about 14 minutes, 30 seconds, and while CLG does have 5 kills to 1, but just see what happens. Oh, CLG is going to take a dragon, I believe.
Yeah, doing Dragon, but SK are pushing on this top, and they wanted to dive in onto Wicked. Kevin it is, it's actually tanking up. There's the ultimate from Nif as well. Wicked staying, Kevin,
wow.
Kevin getting it wrong there,
Man.
Completely messing up the old
and
tower radius and what have you. Froggen does come in, not quite got what he wanted to pick off there, but in the meantime, Ocelot has pushed the bottom outer turret down as well. They're just using his ultimate to escape from that situation. They didn't want to be caught out, and that leaves us at a 600 gold difference. 600 with a 6-2 scoreline. Great push in there. SK taking their bottom lane. Well, I'm saying bottom lane, which is not technically all it's been this game, but you know, their AD carry and support at least, taking them up to this top lane and just saying, well, you know what, you're doing Dragon, we're just going to push straight through there and take down Shen in the process.
Meanwhile, top lane, Yellow Star potentially in a little bit of trouble. Wicked, can he land that taunt? There's a great wall from Froggen and the Ignite, and Froggen's going to take him out. Froggen showing exactly why he is so scary on Anivia. CLG pulling further ahead.
Yeah, those walls from Froggen just never seem to be in the wrong place. Never seem to really miss the mark. Are they going to be able to push down mid here, actually? A big wave coming in. Only Nif on Nunu really able to do anything there. Here comes Aranya, actually. He's flashed over the wall. They want to take out Froggen here as quickly as possible. At least get that egg down. Aranya now is facing all the pressure as we see almost the entire CLG team collapsing around him. And that will be a kill picked up. And again, CLG just playing so smart, taking the taking the pressure, saying, okay, come at me, and then, oh, by the way, there are 2 guys waiting as well for you.
Yeah,
just great synergy that CLG have at the moment. Superb.
Yeah, Kevin with those Shen ultimates has been spot on, especially in that last fight, but not just the Shen ultimate, but the Shen ultimate combined with the Froggen wall, being able to hold Arena in place and give Wicked the time to get into position and then taunt, and then from there, Arena was pretty much dead on arrival.
So Ocelot here is going to be joined by Nifu's just running around, basically, this stage of the game. Here we go. Yellow Star actually pushing in on towards Froggen. Has actually flashed there over the top. Can't stand in that ulti. And once again, look, Snoopy comes in from the backside. Froggen does get egged. They won't mind about that too much, though. As Shen comes in from the side, they get that kill. Can they follow up onto Aranya? No. They've done, half a job, I guess we can call it there. Getting that egg popped from Froggen to make it easier the next time they get around to trying to take her down. But still, that's going to increase the kills for Shen, maybe even more importantly. It's now 4-1-3, but again, Yellow Star thought he was in the safe to attack, thought he was in the safe to be aggressive, and boom, Snoop is in behind him.
And another wall from Froggen. A 3v2 looks like they're just going to back out. I would have loved to have been in their voice chat to see if that egg bait was intentional, where Froggen said, Snoopy, just knock him into me, bait the egg, we can take him out, because Wicked was right there. Just CLG playing so well and using their team so strongly, because Froggen knows his egg is going to be back up shortly, and he does have Crepo on Soraka. and who's just going to feed him mana as well as keep him alive as Wicked jumps in on Ocelot, dropping to about half health. CLG so strong right now.
Yeah, that was, again, another fantastic move. Just dashing through the wall, getting in position. Kevin, however, is pushing this top lane. Shen is going to come back over and stop that one from happening. Actually, there's a 2-level advantage now for Kevin over Wicked. It's 13 and level 11. That's an interesting predicament, because if I remember rightly, when Shen went back up to that top lane, he was actually ahead by a level in the earlier stages of things, which obviously no longer the case. Rod of Ages and a needlessly large rod there picked up by Froggen on Anivia. In terms of the CS, he's what, 20 CS ahead currently of Ocelot, and well, the kills following in there as well. Ocelot actually going straight up towards that Rabadon's death cap by the looks of things. And overall, CLG, you know, they started this off game. I mean, the last game wasn't really too one-sided in the early side of things. SK really just grasped it later on, but this one is looking like, you know, CLG almost written in stone, and I think it would take a bit of a mistake from CLG to end up losing this one by now.
Yeah, I think CLG picked really well. Their team composition is strong. Yellow Pete is getting really farmed. He's got 144 minion kills. Corki's actually ahead and did finish his Triforce. However, Kog'Maw does have that Phantom Dancer. But I think the most important thing on this is Wicked putting so much pressure on all of the different lanes. And Froggen has a Chalice, he has Rod of Ages, and he has a needlessly large rod.
Yeah, this is dangerous now. And actually, Wicked, is he going to get caught out here at the top? No, just gets himself in the rush. No problem for
1v3, no problem for Wicked.
It's going to stay there. I'm not scared about that one whatsoever. And CLG now are pushing through, and that is going to be first middle turret and first turret of the game, actually, for CLG taken out. It may not be the last one of this push. Actually, Yellow Star needs to be careful that they don't close in on him, because they have Snoopy good pulverizing the Q from Froggen, and he's pretty much not getting out anymore from that. Dragon is due up at 20:50, so 30 seconds to go for that one.
Oh, and it looks like Snoopy actually missed that blue ward. They walked right by it, and they're looping back around to see if they can make something happen under this tower. Snoopy missing the pulverize, gets a chunk of health taken out. Will they be able to jump on him? Slow going down onto Kevin, and Yellow Pete is just chunking him with that red buff, getting the slow. Charm going down onto Crable, but it looks like SK's going to try and back out of this.
Again, showing the danger of the Kog'Maw, this time in different hands, but Yellow Pete has been so impressive in the last tournaments that we've seen him in CLG.eu lineup. There is Dragon now up and available, and it's pinged straight away by CLG, so they're going to get in there about 10 to 15 seconds after it's actually spawned, pull it out of its pit, and they are going to stick in there. Ron is actually on the back side of things. The question is he going to be able to come in and actually throw a sapling in there? Middle outer turret has been actually picked up. Dragon is going to fall here as well, I assume. In a second, there we go. Finally, they finish it off. And that leaves us gold-wise with 28.3 to 30.9, which, you know, can change on at any given time in the near future. 4-1 in turret, so that's a big thing that's actually keeping SK in the game up until this point.
Yeah, I think SK is doing a great job of trading objectives. They knew CLG was going for that dragon, so they just took the middle tower. However, Froggen getting a great wall and forcing a flash out of Arane. So as we see a dive going down, Snoopy popping his ultimate, jumping in. However, Yellowstar is just going to melt him almost immediately. And SK going for a counter initiate. They get the charm on Froggen. Froggen dropping extremely low, and they're going to back out. Great grab. Snoopy going for the dive, but the rest of CLG may not have been on the same page.
It looked that way. Snoopy just comes in from the backside and CLG there. Really? We're going for this one?
Yeah, he went for it.
Well, I am at least. Don't know about the rest of you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I believe he burned his flash. He did not burn his flash on that. However, he did burn his ultimate, and they were able to get a lot of damage out on Froggen and force CLG off of that tower, which I think if CLG had just kept pushing, because it is an Anivia Queen minion clear, I think they would have been able to chunk it down, especially with that Kog'Maw range. Yeah,
I think so as well. This Kog'Maw, is going to be a big factor actually in this game. He's currently what, 112, 164 CS. Corki still holding a good lead, so Yellowstar throughout this and the last game doing a great job of keeping up when it comes to the CS. When I say keeping up, he was obviously in the lead, so even better then. But the question is still, how confident are CLG in this game number 2? They know that this is it. If they end up losing this one, SK are going to go through to the final, and there's no way for CLG to actually obviously jump back and win the tournament. They'd then be in the 3rd, 4th playoffs game. And, you know, and technically, I guess if not 100%, then almost 100% qualified for the European Championships at Gamescom anyway. But that's not the point, you know. No team flies 30 whatever hours from Korea to finish 3rd. You know, that's not in the plan from CLG.
Yeah, especially not when they've already had so much success in Korea against arguably some of the best teams in the world. And yeah, CLG is here to win, and I think they definitely want a rematch against Moscow 5 again in the finals of a major live event. You know, they were able to take them out at DreamHack, and I think they really want to build the momentum off of that victory.
Well, they've looked good up until this point. Wasn't expecting SK to quite turn up with the form that they've brought this morning. They obviously slept well last night.
Yes, definitely. And it's great to see SK. They did have a little bit of trouble in this early game, but they are trying to farm and trying to get back into this game. Aurelia has Triforce as well. CLG trying to push down. Anivia almost has that Rabadon's Death Cap. She finally has level 2 boots, so she's going to be hitting pretty hard. Damage. Great shutdown from Aurelia. Top lane onto Shen. Trying to take a 1v2. Meanwhile, middle lane, great initiate from Snoopy going down. Exhaust going onto Ocelot. Will they be able to take him out? It's a 4v2 situation, but a great trade from SK as Froggen flashes in and takes out Ocelot. Froggen on Anivia just doing work. Great play, however, Kevin making sure that it was as even a trade as he possibly could. However, Nif a little bit out of position. Looks like they're pinging down as Yellow Pete goes in, meets Yellowstar. Yellowstar and Kevin coming down from top lane. They could be in a little bit of trouble, CLG. Wall going down, and Yellow Pete pretty low, but he's going to be chunking down Yellowstar. Kevin taking out Snoopy, but a great ultimate as Aurelia and Corgi are going to take him out. Aurelia gets a double kill. Teleport comes in. Wicked finally getting into the fight. Froggen has no mana. Yellowstar so low. Will he be able to take him out? And a great slow. Exhaust going down onto Wicked. Wicked and Froggen holding on by the skin of their teeth, but no, Kevin is on a rampage, and that is a 4-for-0 exchange for SK. They are still in this game.
I don't know what Kevin had for breakfast today, but
seriously,
he's in form today.
I think he got farmed. That's what happened. His Aurelia ate a lot. She got Triforce, now she has Guardian Angel, and these late game team fights could definitely go in SK's favor, as we just saw. But wow, great play to start that off. Top lane taking out Wicked, and we saw Wicked was able to teleport into that fight, but it was way too late at that point. Froggen was out of mana, and great play from SK.
Almost channeled before whoever it was going on to died, and then he had to do the whole channeling of the teleport to get in there, by which time it probably would have even been better to just cancel the teleport as well and just stay away 100% from that one. But that leaves us, let's take stock of things, 8-11 in favor of CLG in the kills, 36.8 to 37.7. 1,000 gold difference after 26 minutes of the game. Yes, the kills are in favor of CLG, but as we've just seen, this Aurelia is hella scary up to this point.
Yes, she is.
But also, Froggen, we saw how quickly he managed to pop the Ahri. Didn't have much mana at the end of the fight, which is like, well, I'm Anivia. If I don't have mana, I'm kind of screwed with everything that's going on. My auto attacks aren't going to bring me any kind of luck. And you know, that's something we're going to have to see how well this Anivia does in the team fights. But if they allow this Aurelia to dart across the entire team like we saw from him before, I think that could spell a little bit of trouble for CLG. And SK, you can tell, you know, this early game was all about CLG. They've done really well. SK were fairly quiet, no real big plays, what have you. But then they've got them pulled that one off, and I already know that Ocelot is strung a couple of notches higher than before that team fight, which is surely a good thing for them.
Yeah, definitely. You know, SK coming out ahead, and while Ocelot did get picked off, SK as a team were really showing the power of their composition. Those small skirmishes catching CLG out of position and actually punishing Wicked, trying to put pressure on that top lane, and then Aurelia and Corki being able to drop down and completely wipe out the rest of CLG.
the thing is as well that I don't think we really noted before, SK have got 3 ignites on their team. Compared to the single ignite on Froggen. So, you know, CLG going to be hampered by that one when it comes to these team fights. One, those ignites start to be put down onto the different players. I think, you know, SK have got a really good chance still in this game to wrap up this series 2-0, which, if you'd have said to me before this event, come on, Joe, let's have a bet, CLG are going to play against SK in the semi-finals and 2-0, I probably would have laughed and then taken the bet. because I don't think anyone really expected SK to pull out this performance here.
Yeah, and going back to your point about the ignites, CLG has a Soraka. So that ignite, the heal reduction on those ignites are just making Krapo's heals so much less effective, especially if he's going to pop the wish. He'll say, okay, we think the wish is coming, just drop the ignites and make sure that those carries go down.
That is a very good point. And SK currently are stealing away that jungle. I told you, they're feeling so confident
they are
right
so
now.
confident, and those invasions are what won them game 1. They were really aggressive in the blue buffs early, especially with Frog and Zambia, as we see something potentially going down. Oh, there's the charm, and we could potentially see a fight coming up right now.
SK actually going in there. Yellow Star gets caught by the wall. Valkyrie came about half an hour too late for me, but he got him out of there alive at least.
Yeah, however, he's down to 50% health, so bit of trouble from CLG.eu. Looks like Ocelot trying to make something happen, but Snoopy motoring around on those boots of mobility with that Oracles and ward clearing like a boss.
CLG now starting to push in there. Nifty's going to get walled off, and it's a decision to use the flash, which is obviously not ideal. You know that Nunu would like to have his flash available even to start the fight, so get in there, get his absolute zero running. But again, Corki stayed around. I'm not sure why it didn't just go back and heal, because we knew what Anivia can do with one burst. Took him down to half HP. That means the second half's not going to last very long. They've actually got the charm in here onto Wicked. Randy's going to dive into the middle of them. Randy knocked up in the air. They focus him first, and SK are falling like flies here. CLG not taking too much damage. They need Yellow Star to get back in this fight. They've taken the tower. Snoopy's going to get away without going down, and we'll see now if SK can hold onto this inhibitor turret, a position which CLG found themselves in the late stages of that game number 1. But in that fight, really, CLG almost seemed to lose nothing.
Well, CLG already had an advantage because they had poked down Yellow Star before the fight had started, so he had to go back to base to heal, and CLG's gonna try and make something happen with this base, but now it looks like they're just gonna back off, potentially play it safe, and they could potentially go for the Baron. No, RNA is up, so SK does have that smite back up, and so if they go for this Baron, it's gonna be a 5-on-5.
Oh, Yellow Star getting very aggressive. Actually going to Valkyrie right in there, but there is the wall. In they come, and Yellow Star gets killed off by Shen. Kevin also in a little bit of trouble. Obviously does have the Guardian Angel, but that's not really the point. He doesn't want to be left all alone in the middle of that fight. Here comes Snoopy from the backside. He's going to fall, not before headbutting Ari into the mix of the fight as well. Kevin looking like he's going to get away. I'm not sure the same can be said about Aranya, who flashes over into that jungle, and I think CLG are going to say, well, you flash away, we don't really care. We're going to have this inhibitor turret, which is less than half HP currently. Wicked going to start to tank that one up, and this is going to be the first inhibitor turret of the game taken down in favor of CLG. They may well just go ahead and pick up this inhibitor with it as well. Yes, they will. Kevin, though, is coming back and is is full HP, and CLG aren't all that healthy, but as he does one chunk of damage, I think CLG said, okay, let's not stay around here. Kevin's got those elixirs running. Look at the speed that he's got going on as well. Wicked will turn around. There is the wall from Anivia, not quite getting the connection that they wanted. Nif is in chase. He's going to get the absolute zero down. The rest of SK trying to follow in from the backside. Can they get on top of them? Yellow Pete is going to go to below half health, and SK are still chasing up the middle. This is like the world's longest team fight.
I know. That was a ridiculously long fight, and something we didn't actually touch on is Blood Boil on Aurelia. Aurelia is very attack speed based. She deals that true damage for a very small amount of time. However, it's per attack. So when she has that Heat-Tan style popped with the Blood Boil, so scary as Corki jumps in on Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw popping the cleanse, gets ignited. However, they're going to turn onto Krebo. The Shen ult going onto Krebo, going to protect him. However, they're going to try and turn. Looks like SK is going to back off as Wicked is in a whole heap of trouble. All 5 members of SK. He does get charmed, and he is going to be taken out by Ocelot. Great play from SK. So much aggression. and pushing Yellow Pete out of that fight early.
I was about to ask, why didn't Shen just finish the teleport onto the top of Crepo? And the answer would be because it got cancelled by the guys who were hunting him down on the bottom side of the map. That's my fault for not paying attention to the minimap. But here we go. Baron has already been started, round about half HP currently. SK not in the healthiest of situations. Well, obviously with Wicked down, they feeling like they could have this one, as Crepo is going to fall there. Good kill for Ocelot. Baron is now down to just 4,000 HP. Can they finish this one off? Blood Boil is on Corky currently. Baron down to 2.6k. Snoopy is going to come in. He's going to be targeted straight away. Ulti is running. Not going to be enough to keep him alive, but Froggen has dove in onto Nif. Nif will die. Brilliant wall, but Kevin doesn't care. Dashes in over the top. Froggen's going to get egged. That egg's not going to last long either, and that is going to be SK turning around. Baron is still tagged up as well. It just starts to heal as they get back in, but they'll say, well, that'll be perfect for us. And SK are going to take the first Baron of this game. The gold is now a 200 gold lead for CLG still, but what an absolutely fantastic best of 3 this is turning into.
I'm shaking my head right now. I cannot believe the play. Kevin, if SK pulls out this Game 2, Kevin is the MVP of this series. He has been unstoppable. Game 1, he was unbelievable as Jax, just fearlessly jumping in. Game 2, that wall, didn't care. Dashed in, dropped Froggen, and has just been a terror. And not just Kevin, but that Blood Boil combination with him. It's just impressive play from SK overall. As the Shirelles gets popped, Wicked going in. However, it looks like him and Crepo want to have nothing to do with that SK team right now.
I can't blame him. Kevin's there.
That's very true.
It's not going to end pretty if they go in there. 8-3-4. He's just picked up that Giant's belt as well to add to his tankiness. His damage is certainly high enough for this point with the Trinity 14 there. Ari Deathfire Grasp plus Rabadon's Death Cap, so someone's going to get a lot of damage to the face instantly when they go into that fight. On the other side, Froggen to Nivea, Rabadon's Death Cap, Void Staff, that Chalice obviously from earlier, and the Rod of Ages. Shen starting to get a bit more damage in there with the Wit's End, got the Ionic Spark already on top of the Randuin's Omen. But again, I feel SK could do with the Shirelles. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, that rapid initiate.
Extra boost, to initiate or to get out of a situation that you put yourself in and didn't really think about it too much. That extra escapability is so vital. We see one obviously with CLG currently. It wouldn't surprise me to see a second coming in, as we've seen from them time and time again in these past tournaments. But now 52.2 to 50.9 now as SK have farmed up nicely both sides of the jungle with that Baron buff on. But this game is still open. One bad engage for either team could spell disaster.
Yeah, and there was a CLG lead of about 3,000 gold, and SK has cut that and then taken the lead themselves. Kevin has Warmogs now. Nunu has a Zeke's Herald, so they are really trying to build Kevin up into this hyper carry. Yellowstar, however, no slouch with the Triforce and the Last Whisper, so he's really going to be looking to take out Shen. Shen has that Randuin's Omen, so he's going to be able to slow Corky down if Corky is able to. He's going to slow him down if he's able to auto-attack him. And with the Randuin's aura, they're going to try and take Yellowstar out. However, Yellowstar has a Guardian Angel now as well. He just went back and bought. So between Yellowstar and Kevin, this duo has been doing some serious work in this series.
Absolutely incredible game. 37 minutes into it, and still none the wiser to figuring out who's going to be, I say none the wiser. We are a little bit wiser than at 0 minutes, to say the least, but still, this one is open. Yellowstar currently farming up, as you say, Guardian Angel on now the what could be the two most important champions when it comes to these these next team fights.
Yeah, absolutely, and Yellow Pete grabbing the Guardian Angel as well. He has the Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer, so you can never count Kog'Maw out of a fight when he has those two items. And it's just going to be about positioning. If Froggen can catch someone out of position, SK wants to catch someone with a charm, they want to catch him with a snare, and then they want Aurelia and Yellowstar to jump all over them and take them out as fast as possible.
Yeah, Ward was just putting over the top of the walls there from SK. A little bit sneaky move. They are clearing up that jungle once again. Wolves taken away. And SK, they're obviously not feeling like they've got any kind of lead, really. It's like, all right, we got that Baron, but we're behind in kills, we're behind in turrets. Have we got the lead? Are we in, you know, a position to drive an advantage home? Probably not. So they've been very, very cautious about things. Even more so, probably gone, really? Really, you're going to leave that tower with just one more hit that it needed?
I think, speaking of careful, I think SK wants to be really careful with their lead. They have a 3,000 gold lead. However, you mentioned one bad engage could spell trouble, and CLG's lineup is all about taking advantage of a bad engage. One wall, one stun, one taunt will let Snoopy get in position to be able to headbutt someone into a very dangerous situation.
CLG just being staying on their own half of things at the moment. SK have all just portaled home for a big buy up. There's the Frozen Heart coming in onto Maokai. Aegis as well from a little bit earlier on. And they're now those two Trinity Forces. Trinity Forces.
Trinity Force?
Force. Trinity Force.
I don't actually know.
That last whisper on Corki as well. And I don't know. I think we're going to see a very long game from this. I think they're going to dance around each other until one team takes one footstep too far or too short, and they end up jumping on top of each other. Obviously, Baron's going to be up fairly shortly as well, which means that both teams are going to be vying for the position of that top side of the river. The question is, who is going to get it? And there are the lots and lots of pings. I don't know who it was spamming those, but wanting to get a message across, that's for sure.
I think that may have been SK. They knew that CLG was in that jungle, and Anivia in a jungle that's not the champion you want to meet when you're trying to potentially go for an objective, because Anivia can wall off. There's so many limited paths, and that actually, if CLG wants to make an engage, I feel like they may want to make it in the jungle.
But let's not forget, then you've got Corki, whose splash damage from his rockets are going to be doing more. You've got Maokai, who his ulti fits nice and perfectly into the jungle. You've got Ari, who's going to be doing more damage with those AoE spells as well. And let's not forget Kevin, who's just going to jump from one to the other, slitting throats, basically. So, you know, it's not an easy one to call, this one, from either side of things. Obviously, at CLG, that Anivia ulti is the prime example of why you would do something like that in terms of positioning. SK need to be careful that they just don't make that stupid mistake of just stepping into a brush without awarding it. Any of those, just one single man down can mean the end of the game this far in. 14 minutes gone. SK now trying to come back around to stop this inhibitor falling. Yellow Pete just got a couple of hits off before he decides, well, I'm just going to back away, spam my ulti out. And again, look, the path that Ocelot took there, that's a prime example of something you just don't need to do. You don't need to risk it by going along the outside of the base. Gets hit up there by the wall, but won't get caught too far. And that's what I'm talking about. Just being somehow lazy, thinking, oh, it's okay, I can take the fast route here because no one will catch me out, can mean the end of a game.
Yeah, and it looks like CLG's gonna back as SK puts a ton of pressure on this middle lane. Really, and a ping going down. Wicked, they're actually pinging Wicked, so it looks like three of them are actually going to stick back as SK will go right for Baron. Baron has just spawned, and SK knows it. CLG does it well. I believe that's why the pings went down. Potentially a little bit of an error on CLG's part. Let's see if they're going to be able to do anything about it. As SK peels, Kevin jumping on Yellow Pete. Yellow Pete gets cleansed. Great knockback from Snoopy. Exhaust going down onto Yellow Pete. Snoopy in a heap of trouble, pops his ultimate. Great taunt from Wicked. Will they be able to get Crabo and Grogan into this fight? Arania pops his ult. Yellow Pete's Guardian Angel gets popped as well. Yellow Pete, however, really low. There's the Shen ultimate, keeping him alive. Exhaust going down onto Kevin. Here comes the rest of CLG. However, Yellow Star taking out Yellow Pete first. Froggen finally in this fight. Will he be able to do something about it? Not really, and a one-for-one exchange. Ocelot for Yellow Pete.
Yeah, and I think they can be happy with that one, getting the Cogmore out of the team fight. Procking his Guardian Angel as well. And they're actually going to go in further onto this one. Yellow Star getting focused down. He is going to fall, but he's got that Guardian Angel, of course. Not something that Snoopy has the luxury of, though. And now they move in there. Kevin is going to also have his Guardian Angel pop. Froggen is going to be the target here as Kevin does come back up. Can he get in there for the kill? Kevin is chasing around. Aranya's going low. That's great play from Froggen to get the kill at the back. But SK have cleaned up all but Froggen. Froggen's like, well, what are we going to do, lads? Is it a base race or what? The bird, you know, not the fastest at clearing through when it comes to the base, but he's going to damn well give it a try. Taking down these minions here. The SK team, of course, aren't going to let that happen, and they're going to go hunting.
Yeah, it looks like Froggen's trying to...
Uh-oh.
Could see some trouble here. Kevin is about half health. He has no mana, really. Froggen's the opposite. Full mana, but no health. He does still have his egg, though, and Ping's going down onto Baron, so we could potentially see another Baron attempt. Froggen finally going to safety. That was actually a great play from Froggen to force SK. They actually had to make a split decision. Do they go back immediately? Do they try to put pressure on mid? Or do they try and go hunt the Froggen? They took a little bit longer to decide than I think they wanted to, and they finally decided to go hunt the Froggen, but he got away safely.
And in that last fight as well, his micro was brilliant, actually flashed out of the fight.
That was an incredible flash.
And then continued to pump his abilities into the fight, which you know, is exactly what you need to do. Stay alive as long as you possibly can. Great play by Froggen there. We are now tied on kills, 17-17 after 44 minutes, 63 to 58,000 gold. Baron is now up and available, and you have to feel that it's going to be one big, long team fight, which is what they've been so far for this Baron area, for the control of it. See, the wards are down and will be getting cleared out by Crepo, who's just there. There's the wall coming down, and that's what they have to be real careful with on the approach to this Baron, that they stay together. If one of them goes, you know, just a few units in front of the other and that wall is in behind him, they are in a lot of trouble. Ocelot now is going to be joining in with this SK team, and they're all going to be meeting up in the middle. Ranyi's going to want to be clearing out these wards again. Intense stuff. We are now 3/4 of an hour into this game.
This series is so impressive. Now, just to remind you, this is game 2. So if CLG wins this, we're going to go to a game 3 of this semifinal series. And I honestly, there is a gold lead in favor of SK, but at this late in the game, I really feel like it's just going to come down to the fights.
Yep. And SK are going to be the team to start off the Baron. There goes the wall inside. Going to have that vision of it's down to half HP, down to 5k actually, as we are going to see them going in. Snoopy going to be the focus first of all. He's got the ulti running as the ultimate from Wicked comes around as well. Here is the ulti from Nuno. He's going to get a full channel. That's big damage over both Crepo and Yellow Pete, who does go down there. Kevin is fairly low. Let's not forget he doesn't have that Guardian Angel up and available at this point, and Kevin will finally fall to Snoopy, and that's going to leave SK with 3 men left alive to the 4 of CLG, who are all relatively strong still in terms of their health. Have they got enough health and damage to go in for Baron? Doesn't really look like it, and SK now are going to have to portal back as fast as they can because CLG want this inhibitor.
And the great thing about that CLG fight is it shows how far ahead they were planning, and that's something that may not have been as apparent. With the double Guardian Angels, CLG almost had to plan for the next fight, because they had to pop the Guardian Angel on both. As we see Snoopy going in, and Wicked is able to drop the inhibitor. Snoopy going in, headbutting Ocelot out of position. That was a fantastic headbutt. However, Snoopy is going to drop. Great 1-for-1 exchange. Yellowstar coming in, gets the Valkyrie. Crepo being forced to flash out. Snowball going onto Froggen, and a flash from Nif. Great ultimate. Yellowstar going in, however, being forced out by Wicked. Great intimidation from Wicked, and overall a 2-for-2 exchange. Yellowstar extremely low.
And we are now 19 for 20 in kills. Baron is still alive.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, 3,000 gold lead for SK. Couple pings going down to please get out so that Nif and Yellowstar, although Yellowstar is extremely low and he's back, but you never know with SK. They have such good single target shutdown, and they showed that in that fight, being able to drop Yellow Pete so fast. But what I was saying before was with the double Guardian Angel, they have to plan ahead. CLG has to pop those Guardian Angels, and that's what Froggen was able to do. That allowed CLG to come out ahead in that next fight. And Snoopy, with that headbutt, being able to knock Ocelot out of position, that is what CLG is going to have to do. They have to really displace SK and not allow them to pick a target, jump all over him, kill him, and go to the next target.
Yeah, and it's all about who's, who dares to make the moves here. I mean, the two guys calling the shots, I wouldn't like to be that person in a team, if I'm honest with you. You've got to make the decision whether you stay or whether you go. Not an easy one at this stage of a big semi-final. Baron is being done down to 4K already. SK not really close enough, and I think CLG are going to have this one away. Great play. That was a good call, and it's because Corki was down at the bottom, and we see this so often. Baron's there. Both teams have been dancing around it, and then the AD carry's like, well, I'm just going to go and farm
bottom. Yep.
I've got no teleport or anything like that, but it's okay, guys. It doesn't matter. And he's just given the Baron away by going there. As soon as CLG saw him at bottom, they're like, yep, that's our chance to get in there and do their Baron. Now CLG, Baroned up, are going to be coming in here, trying to do as much damage as they can. They've got no minions there, which they didn't seem too confident about having to tank up the tower themselves, and decided to back away.
However, Snoopy has... This is a crazy game, yes. However, this is exactly what CLG wants to do. They are known for their late, almost end game team compositions where they just farm, and no matter what happens throughout the entire game, they will survive, be there, push objectives, and win. And also, Snoopy's Alistar can tank turrets pretty well because he has that Frozen's Heart, and it looks like they're maybe engaged pretty soon.
Yeah, they are trying to push in, and roles reverse this time. That Anivia's the one putting her ultimate into the defenders, which already brings the pain. The question is, how can SK hold off? They basically need to take a leaf out of CLG's book right now and just sit back, soak it up, finish off the item builds. I mean, they're all getting pretty close to being full now. Corki's only got one slot left that he can fill. Ocelot is getting to the same kind of position as well. And it's still balancing on a knife edge, this game. We've already seen SK having one Baron.
The CLG Barons, however,
I can't even remember how many Barons by now. It is actually 3 Barons. No.
Yeah, however, the CLG Baron may factor into them being able to consistently push. They can take the poke, they can continue to use their abilities and just put so much pressure on this top tower. Meanwhile, SK is going to start losing a little bit of health, but SK has great clearing. They have Ocelot, the Ari ball is able to destroy minion waves, as well as the Corki missiles.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, that Q from Ocelot is all they really need to be clearing out these minions. However, they can't get caught out like that. Look at the burst. Ocelot actually goes down. Insta-pop there by the Anivia. And CLG are like, oh, and that was the opening that we were looking for as well. Thank you very much. We're going to get in there. And now they've taken down middle lane inhibitor. They've taken the top inhibitor down as well. And now they are pushing in towards these Nexus turrets. They still need to be a little bit wary, in my opinion, but these super minions are pretty much doing the job for him. And the fact that Cogmore's just at the back doing whatever he wants as they do decide to dive in. They know it's now or never anyway. SK starting to lose that HP. Aranya already dropping fairly dangerously low. Crepo is low, but he's not going to mind. Tries to flash away. Corki takes him down. Nif will even flash over the top of the wall, and that's decent for SK. That's a bit of a lifeline up until now. There is Nivea just bursting Corki almost down to death. And it looks like Wicked, he wants to do the inhibitor, he wants to do the Nexus now. I'm not sure that was the wisest move, but it looks like it was more of a bait as well as SK come diving in. Kevin's Guardian Angel is going to get popped. There is the ulti from Wicked onto his teammate off to the side. Kevin is now back, but instantly kills as he comes back into play. Only Yellow Star left. Snoopy's going to headbutt him away, and CLG are going to take game number 2 here in this best-of-3 semi-final, which means we all knew it was going to happen, didn't we? A third and final game of this best-of-3. Fantastic series up until now.
This is vintage CLG. They were behind early. We actually called, if SK takes it 2-0, what an incredible upset this would be. But CLG did what they do best. They farmed, they got to late game. Froggen got his Warmogs and his Void Staff, and we saw the burst coming out onto Ocelot in that last dive, and they were just able to siege. They got the last Baron.
I mean, Froggen's ended 10-1-9 there. That's his usual. It should have gone Soul Stealer, man. Should have gone Soul Stealer, Froggen. That's what you should have done. So in a couple of minutes, we're going to be heading off to a quick commercial break, but with game number 3 coming up now, what can we expect? I've got no idea. That's why I'm asking you a question.
I think it'll be interesting to see.
I've got no idea who's going to win this game.
I think we've seen SK being able to handle the Anivia, I think someone actually on Reddit posted, it was really funny. They said, don't ban Anivia, challenge accepted. So they're really seeing, what can Froggen do? What are the limits of his play? And I think we just saw that if they're able to get to that late game, get to that end game, and if Froggen gets Warmogs, then we could definitely see CLG being able to push through in that end game. However, I think if we see more of what we saw in Game 1, which is SK getting a bit of an early advantage, as well as getting ahead and snowballing that lead, as well as roaming as 5, I think SK will be able to pull out this upset, and it would be a monumental upset in this tournament.
Yeah, it would be, without doubt. CLG, after their perfect record at DreamHack, their perfect record at OGN over in Korea, people kind of expected that perfect record would maybe continue. But SK, all credit where it's due. They've come into this one strong. They've done really, really well. And, well, we're in the third and final game of the semi-final. We're going to go to a quick ad break. When we come back, it will be that third and final game. So, guys, don't go anywhere.